What is documentary evidence? In a legal case, a document lang kay siya a piece of paper with writing. It is any material nga nag-contain of information just to prove a fact in court. So what counts as a document? So daghan kay siya format to count as a document, such as written words like letters, contracts, or notes. Sa symbols, numbers, and figures like math calculations, codes, or signs. Sa recordings, voice clips, including video clips or any captured sounds. Sa photographs, mo ni siya ang kategory nga broad kaayo, and this includes still pictures, drawings, x-ray films, stored digital images, motion pictures or videos. So mo ning nasa photographs. To be considered daw as documentary evidence, it must be offered to prove what is written or recorded inside it. Kung unsa ang contents, diha mo na siya ang main requirement to be considered as documentary evidence. So, for example, imong gipakita sa judge ang contract to prove that someone promised you to pay 100,000 pesos. So, muna siyang documentary evidence. You are using the words on the paper to prove what was agreed upon. And overall, courts use these materials para ipakita kung unsa jud ang nitabo. Muna ang naa sa documentary evidence. Documents under the rules on electronic evidence. First, electronic document as functional equivalent paper-based documents. So this means that electronic documents are treated the same as paper documents in court. If ang law daw kay ga-mention og writing, documents, recordings, or memorandums, nag-include gihapon ni siya electronic files. Example kay emails, text messages, PDF files, and digital records. May use gihapon ni siya nga evidence sa court just like printed papers. Second, admissibility. Meaning, an electronic document can be accepted as evidence in court if nag-follow siya sa rules of court and it must be authenticated, meaning it is proven to be real and not fake. For example, a screenshot message kay ma-accept siya sa court if it is proven to be genuine. So, ang isa ka document kay admissible siya if nag-prove nga genuine ang isa ka butang. Ikatulo, privilege communication. Meaning, private or confidential communication nagprotektahan sa law. Even if ang message kay electronic, private gihapon siya and confidential. For example, messages between lawyer and client, doctor and patient communication. So, dili ni siya madali o gamit sa court or reveal sa court because of its confidentiality. So, privileged communication is considered document because of its recorded messages or information nga nag-exist as written or electronic form. So, gitawag po siya privilege because the law protects its confidentiality. Evidentiary concepts involves in the presentation of documentary evidence. Before a document can be accepted as evidence in court, it must follow some important rules. So, before daw ang document ma-accept as evidence in court, na siya gi-follow nga some important rules. First, kay relevant. The document must be related to the case and help prove something important. Ang ikaduha, competent. The document must be legal and allowed by the court. It should not violate any law. Ang ikatulo, hearsay rule. A document should not be based only on what someone else said if that person cannot testify in court. So, ang document daw kay dili ra mag-base kung unsay gitabi sa usa ka tawo if ang kato nga person kay dili makatestify sa court. Ang sunod is best evidence rule or original document rule. So, ang original document yun daw ang i-present sa court, dili kay ang copy if ang original kay available. Kalima, kay best evidence rule. So, if na ako no written agreement, mas mo rely ang court sa written document. Dili sa outside statement kay naay possibility nga ma-change ang meaning. So, in short, kanang before daw magamit ang document sa court, it must be relevant and legal, and it must follow some important rules like hearsay rule, best evidence rule, and oral evidence rule. Requisites for the admissibility of documentary evidence. So the following are the requisites for the admissibility of documentary evidence. So first, the document must be relevant. Para sa akong discuss ganiha, na the document must be related to the case. It has to prove or disprove a fact that matters to the trial. So second, the evidence must be authenticated. So you need to prove that the document is real. So dapat nimong i-prove nga ang katong document nga imong ipakita is tinuod. This means showing a document exactly what you claim it is, kay dili siya fake or forgery. Ay katulo, the document must be authenticated by a competent witness. So katong person nga nakibaw sa document kay dapat niyang isulti sa court. Like for example, contract. So ang katong contract is ang person nga ni-sign ato is need niyang i-testify sa court to confirm nga ang katong document is genuine or real. Then lastly, the document must be formally offered in evidence. Dili lang kay ipakita sa lawyer ang document but na sila follow nga legal process to offer it to the judge. Then ang judge na ang bahala mo decide if i-appeal niya as part of the evidence. So in short, before daw ang document magamit sa court, it must be related to the case, real, verified by a person, and properly presented it to the court. Original document rule, formerly known as best evidence rule, is a law about how to use papers in court. So, unsa si original document rule? So, the rule says that if you want to prove something, like unsay nakasuwat di sa imong document, you must bring the actual original paper to court. Dili ka imuhang gamiton ang copy or photo if ang original is available. Then, ang original document rule is wala siya nag-apply in all types of evidence. Nag-apply ra siya sa evidence, especially like contracts, letters, wills. Wala siya nag-apply sa objects like weapons, piece of clothing, testimony, like kung sige itabil sa person sa court. Then, why is original document rule matter? So, ang rule is magamit ra siya if ang content like unsay nakasuwat sa document is the important part of the argument. To make sure nga walay mistake nga mahitabo like sa copy or rewrite, then ang court ganahan makakita sa first original version sa paper or document.
The purpose of the rule. So, the primary goal is to ensure the integrity and accuracy of documentary evidence presented in court. So, it means accuracy, means it prevents mistransmissions or errors that often occur when copying a document. Next is fraud prevention. So to prevent the fraud, or it acts as safeguard, as it's much harder to alter an original document. Next, completeness. So it ensures the court sees the entire context of a writing preventing. So dapat complete, walay ma-altered tenants, and the original document must be present to the court. Waiver of the rule. It happens if ang usa ka side sa kaso ay wala ka ni tutol or objection sa pagpakita sa secondary evidence, for example, the photocopy. So, based sa batas, if ang usa ka side ay nag-present of photocopy instead nga original documents or evidence ang ipakita, so nakay karapatan nga mo waive nga kanang dapat ipakita ang original evidence sa or document sa kana nga scenario or unsa. Next is if mo silent ka, so those photocopy instead of original is mapadayon. So if makuan sa korte mo accept, so wala na kay mahimo. So it surrender sa imong waive. So for example, kani nga yuta nagpaila nga sa imong jud ni. Wa if A nagpakita og photocopy sa deed of sale nga nagpaila nga kani siya is sa iya dyan ni nga gipalit halok yuta. Then B, sa atubangan sa korte gitan-aw sa abogado sa B ang photocopy instead of original document. Nag-istorya ang abogado nga, Your Honor, tumutol kami sa photocopy at dapat need ang original or original nga ipakita. So ang waiver is instead nga mututol ka ni silent ka or ang abogado sa katong habi ni silent. So no objection. So wala kay mahibuhat kay ni kuan man ni silent pang ka. So it means ang katong photocopy is madawat ra sa korte. When document is merely collaterally an issue, a document is considered collaterally an issue when it's not the main subject. So dili siya main subject or issue of the litigation sa evidence, and nagsupport ra siya sa challenge a fact. So for example kaniya empleyado o ang company, ang empleyado ni reklamo kay ngano gitangkas siya sa trabaho nga walay reason. So the company nga nagpakita og document nga ngano siya gitangkas sa trabaho. So the main issue is katong gikuha siya sa trabaho. Then ang nagasupport sa iya para ma-fact ang challenge a fact sa katong detail is ang usa ka dokumento. Unsa man ba ipakita og katong document nga sige siya ka late, nga nakita nga na siya dito late, absent o sa records, and dos kuan mga kipambuhat sa empleyado. How to apply the original document rule? A party must present the original unless they can prove an exception, such as the original being lost in the custody of the adverse party and consisting of numerous accounts, etc. So means the original document rule, you must produce the actual original paper itself if it mandates that when we are trying to prove. So how does the rule apply? The rule only kicks when the contents of the writing are very subject of the court's inquiry. So apply ba if unsay sulod atong nga contents, so you must present the original rule or evidence. So then you have the exception based sa akong giingon is ma-lose or destroyed the original gun without bad faith in your part. So and this is the example. The original requirement, imagine mo you are a landlord suing a tenant or unpaid rent based on handwritten lease agreement. So katong scenario is, the scenario is i-try ni mo nga submit ang photo of the list you took with your phone. Then the tenant's lawyer objects based on the original document rule. So, since ang case is about the specific terms written in the list, so you must bring the original written paper sa court. So kay sulod ato kay sa contents man niya, so dapat dalhon dito nimo ang original. Then sa exception, you want to prove own the land to the court. So i-apply nimo nga kuan man, since you can prove the original was destroyed, wala, but sa nasunog ba or sa, the court will allow you to present a photocopy or the testimony of the lawyer who witnessed the signing. This is the secondary exceptions. But those illustrative application of the original document rule. The subject is inquiry and response. The illustration does not even involve a document. The evidence is purely testimonial. So means, sa example is about sa kasal nga ipangutana about sa katong Isa kanang example is no need na ang original document rule. So means testimonial is pwede na siya considered as the evidence nga to testify those questions. Means original documents is nag-involve urban siya sa unsay content ato nga sulod nga need ipakita sa original document mismo. Sa may example di ba ato niya is libel sa paman, will sa will is testamento and kuan sa utang mo. Di sa may mga no need na nga original document sa man pagkamatay, regalo or kana sa donasyon ang sa paglakbay nimo or paglakaw nimo and sa about sa katong sa kasal. So this very important nga may bawan nimo ang about sa mga procedures nga para pag-abot sa court makabaw na ka ug unsay dapat buhaton kay you know na about the unsay need nga ipas or ipakita about sa original document or evidence rule. Then the secondary.
Good morning everyone, I am a member of Group 2 and I'm Peter B. Pansi and I'll discuss the meaning of original bar to secondary evidence. So, meaning of original bar. An original of a document is the document itself or any counterpart intended to have the same effect by a person executing or issuing it. So, in 1997 to 2001, when we say original, it is the actual or any version of document intended to have the same legal effect as the first one. So, for example, I sent a file to someone, then iya giprint, ang kanang giprint out niya can be considered as original under the bar 1997-2001 rule as long as readable, accurate, and what do you call that, kanang reflect ang data, na reflect ra sa original ang data, can be considered as original. So dili pa riha karon ang basihan karon kung original is kanang sealed, di ba? So under the 1991-2007, kung as long as readable siya and then accurate, pwede na siya matawag ng original. And then so originals under the rules on electronic evidence, the copies produced at or about the same time with identical contents from the same matrix is considered original. So under the rules on electronic evidence, copies made at the same time with identical content are considered original. But there is an exception. Unless their authenticity is questioned or it would be unfair to the other party. For example, ang copy kay murag gi-altered, incomplete, or look suspicious. So to avoid injustice sa other party, dili na dawaton ang documents sa court. Mao na ikuan rules sa electronic evidence under the rules on electronic evidence bar 2003. So let's talk about original printout of facsimile transmission bar 2012. An original printout of a facsimile transmission or fax machine is not considered an electronic document. Dili doon na siya matawag og original. So ang original printout of facsimile transmission is the physical paper based copy nga niagi og fax machine. So sa ubos mao na ang fax machine, and this is how fax machine works. Makita rin niyo sa ubos. So because of this, it cannot be authenticated using those rules and is instead treated as a regular document under the rules of court, Rule 130. So ani na ta sa excuses for not presenting the original document. So makita nimo sa ubos mao na mga excuses sa kuan presenting the original document. No need to present original document if na valid reason like nawala, naguba, and dili ma-obtain without bad faith. And also, excuse if ang original is held by other party who refuses to produce it, involves many records, or it is public record kept by a government office. So, mao nang mga excuses not presenting the original document. So, diri na ta sa secondary evidence. Requisites for the introduction of secondary evidence in case of loss, destruction, or unavailability of the original. In case of loss, destruction, or unavailability of the original, secondary evidence may be admitted only by laying base for its production. So, unsa mga secondary evidence? Secondary evidence kana mga copy, photocopy, or duplicate, certified true copy, a printout of an electronic file, written or oral testimony describe the contents of the original. So, but this evidence only admissible in court when the absence of primary evidence is explained and justified. So, mao ni sila kaning must prove the existence and execution of the original document, must show the cause of its unavailability, must show that the unavailability was due to his bad faith.
First is I will discuss the requisite for the introduction of secondary evidence when the original is in custody or control of the adverse party or cannot be obtained by local judicial process or procedures. So, ang gimin ani kay makayus ka o photocopy or other proof na document if ang original kay dili ipakita sa other party. So, before day matawag nga secondary evidence kay kinahanglan naa jud siya nga original evidence. So, for example is si person 1 o si person 2 kay naay contract. Then, si person 1 kay ang iyang naa niya kay photocopy ra sa original document. Then, diingnan si person 2 sa court nga need ipadala ang original document but wala dalhan ni person 2 ang original document. So, ang court maka-allow siya sa pag-use ng photocopy nga document kay wala man gidala ni person 2 ang original document. So, isa pa sad, dili ni siya makayuse, dili makayuse sa photocopy document ingana kadali. Dapat you must first prove that you tried to get original. Like imo sa gitry nga gikuha ni mga original but dili gini hatag. So the next one is requisites for the introduction of secondary evidence when the original consists of numerous accounts. So ang gipasabot ani kay if dagan kaayo nga document dili na nimo kinahanglan i-present tanan or tagsa-tagsaon. So dapat isamari na lang kay kung ipakita nimo tanan ga waste na tag time kay neither man nimo makita ang general result. The next one is requisite for the introduction of secondary evidence when the original document is public record. So ang main ani kay so, kung imong document kay public record, no need na ka mo dala og original. Pwede ra certified copy kay Wayman. Kay ang public records naara na siya sa office. Naara na siya sa mga office. So for example, ang original na sa PSA. So, magdala kag certified true copy. Dili pwede nga ordinary nga photocopy lang. Dapat certified siya like naipirma nga valid. So the next one is effect of not offering a document in evidence after calling its production and its inspection. So diri optional lang ang document. Dili required like or imong ipakita pwede ra o dili sa nimo ipakita pwede ra, magdepende na nimo if imo ba ipakita. So, the last one is parole evidence rule. Rule number 130, contracts and parole evidence rule. So, ang main ani, so sa rule 130, kung naamoy agreement, nasulat na sa contract, is dili na siya pwede ilisan. Kay mauna na ibasihan sa court. Bisan na moingon ka nga lahi inyong sabot sa una, dili gyapon pwede. Kaya ang written document mo ay basihan sa court unless nga naay mistake or fraud.
So what is parole evidence and rule? This rule applies when the main issues in court case is about what is written in agreement or contract. It means that you generally cannot use oral or spoken promises or previous discussions to change, add to, or contradict what is clearly written in the document. So why do we have this rule? So we have two reasons why. So first, we have to give certainty. It makes sure that the written agreements are clear and final. So second, we have to protect the agreement. It keeps the written contract trustworthy and respected. So important this note is this rule only applies to written agreement. It does not apply to agreement that are only spoken. So who does this rule apply to? This rule only binds to the people who actually sign the agreement, the people who inherit or take over the rights later. So it does not apply to the people who are not part of the original agreement or claiming any rights based on that document. They are free to present the other evidence. So does this rule apply to wills? My answer is yes, it does. Under the law, the word agreement, it includes will. This means that when it comes to proving or what a will says, you can only use the actual written document itself. So you cannot use other evidence or testimony to change or explain what is written inside the will. So, when can we use parole evidence? Kanusaan na to magamit ang parole evidence? So normally, dili jud ta kagamit ani niya. But ang law niingon, we can use spoken words or other documents to explain or usbon ang written agreement if na diri ang upat ka sitwasyon nga mahitabo. So first, there's an confusion, mistakes, or error in the writing. So we have two types of confusions. First, we have latent or intrinsic. The words look like clear on paper. Clear siya, mabasa siya, but there is an hidden meaning. It is refer on something that is not clear. So second, we have patent or extrinsic. The words themselves are confusing. They don't have make sense right away when you read them. Imo siya mabasa pero dili nimo siya masabtan kung unsa iyang but ipasabot. So second, we have the writing does not show what the parties really meant on the agreed upon. So third, we have is someone is questioning if the agreement is legal or valid. So lastly, we have the parties agreed to the new terms after they signed the original agreement. So how do you introduce it in court? So how will we introduce it in court? So to be allowed to present the parole evidence, you must first clearly state in the official court papers pleading that you are raising one of the four issues mentioned above. So important note, just because the court allows you to say it does not mean the court will automatically believe it or consider it's true. So the judge still decide if what you are saying is believable or important. So what about agreements made before, during, or after? So before, during, usually you cannot use agreements or talks that happened before or the same time you signed the paper to change what is written. So after, agreements made after the document was signed are allowed. The rule does not stop you from showing that the parties changed their minds or made a new deal later on. Lastly is intrinsic or latent ambiguity. This is a type of confusions where the words look clear on paper. Like what I said before, nga imo siya mabasa, imo siya makita, but when you look at the actual facts or situation, they can mean two different things. Like for example, the paper says, I will sell my car, but you have two cars. The words are clear, but it's unclear which car you meant. Rule, you are allowed to use parole evidence to explain this kind of confusion, but you cannot just say it's confusing. Dili lang kaingon nga makastorya ra ka, imura istorya nga na-confuse ka, but you must officially raise this issue in your court document first. Only then can you present evidence to explain what was really meant.
Mistake or imperfection in the writing and failure to express the true agreement of the parties. A mistake or imperfection in writing occurs when the document does not accurately reflect true agreement of the parties, despite a valid meetings of mind. Reason for the failure of the instrument to express the true intention of the parties. We have 4 reasons. The first one is fraud, second one is ignorance, the third one is lack of skill, the fourth one is negligence or bad faith on the part of the person drafting the instrument. So, when we say fraud, deliberate deception causing the document to misrepresent the agreement. So, when we say ignorance, lack of knowledge affecting the proper drafting of the document. Third one, lack of skill, incompetence, or inability of the draftsman. The fourth one is negligence or bad faith, is carelessness or intentional misconduct by the person preparing the instrument. So, in remedy, the party may ask for reformation of the instrument under Article 1359 of the Civil Code. The party may introduce parole evidence to show the real intention of the parties. So, reformation of the instrument cannot be brought to reform any of these following. 1. Sample donations inter vivos wherein no condition is imposed, wills, or when the real agreement is void. 2. Should there be no meeting of the minds between the parties because of mistake, fraud, ununicable conduct, or accident, the proper remedy is action for annulment under Article 1359 in the Civil Code because the conduct is rendered voidable by violation of the consent of one of the parties. Probative value. In probative value, even if the parole evidence is admitted, such admission will not mean that the court will give probative value to the parole evidence. Admissibility is not the equivalent of probative value or credibility. Another, if the petitioner, for instance, claimed the parties had entered into the verbal agreement subsequent to the written agreement, the existence of the verbal agreement must be sufficiently supported by the evidence. Distinction between the original document rule and the parole evidence rule. An original document rule establishes a preference of the original document over the secondary evidence. Precludes the admission of secondary evidence if in the original document is available, can be invoked by any litigant or an action whether or not said litigant is a party to the document involved. Applies to all form of writing. In parole evidence rule is not concerned with the primacy of evidence but presupposes that the original is available. Precludes the admission of the other evidence to prove the terms of a document other than contents of the document itself for the purpose of varying the terms of writing. Can be invoked only by the parties of the document and their successors in interest. It can be applied to written agreements, contracts, and wills. So the difference of this original document and parole evidence rule is the original document is any litigant or not litigant is in party can do this document or can involve. So in parole evidence is only by the parties that document under successor, and interest. Authentication and proof of document. So, it is the process of providing the due execution and genuineness of a document. Not only objective but also document introduce the evidence need to be authenticated. So, authentication is the preliminary step in showing the admissibility of evidence. When we say admissibility is that the court will accept their evidence or not. So, it must be shown to the satisfaction of the same court that such evidence is very same evidence found.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jayford Sumilhig, and I will continue the discussion in this afternoon. So, my topic is concept of a document bar 2019. So, a document as a deed, instrument, or other duly authorized paper by which something is proved, evidence, or set forth. For documents to be considered as a documentary evidence, it must be offered as proof of their contents. So, a document is any written or printed paper that is used to show or prove something. So, it can be contracts. So, pwede kontrata, resibo, letter, report, or any paper that contains information. So, under the rules bar 2019, a document becomes documentary evidence when you present it in court to prove what is written inside it. So, not just to show that paper exists, but prove the truth of its contents. So, sa balaod daw, sa bar 2019, ang usa ka document pwede na mahimong documentary evidence kung i-present kini sa korte aron ma-prove og unsay sulod niini. Dili lang aron ipakita nga naagid na ang papel. So, para pod na ma-prove og unsa ang katinuod na gisulod niini nga papel. So, for example, ang resibo nga nagpakita nga ibayad ka og 5,000 pesos sa cellphone. So, pwede na nimo mapakita ang resibo sa korte to prove that you paid 5,000 pesos. So, it becomes a documentary evidence. So, ang korte na mismo nga mutan-aw nga content, which is ang amount, ang petsa, or ang item nga gipalit to decide if your claim is true. Another example, a printed text message saying that a person will pay a debt. So, for example, nakakay giprint nga message nga nag-ingon, mubayad ko nimo 2,000 pesos karong Friday. So, if you present it in court, aron ma-prove nga naa siya utang ug nagsaad siya mubayad, mahimo kining documentary evidence. So, it means dili ra ang resibo or contracts ang ma-consider as evidence, also ang mga text messages or emails. So, in a simple idea, document is any written paper, while documentary evidence when you use that paper to prove its contents in court. Okay, let's proceed. Public and private documents, proof of a private document. So, in a public documents, the written official acts or records of the official bodies and tribunals and public officers, whether of the Philippines or of a foreigner country. So, the documents acknowledged before a notary public, except last wills and testaments. Then, documents that are considered public documents under treaties and convention which are in force between the Philippines and the country of source, and public records kept in the Philippines of the private documents required by law to be entered therein. So, meaning, public documents are papers that are officially recognized by the law because they are made, issue, or recorded by the government or authorized. So, ang publiko daw, ang public na documents mo na yung mga papeles nga official nga gila sa balaod tungod gihimo kini or gi-issue or recorded sa gobyernos or sa mga authorized persons. So, private documents. So, all other writings are private. So, meaning kay ang private documents are all other writing that are not public. So, katuning mga private gani. So, dili ni binuhatan sa public. So, example kay handwritten letter, receipt, private agreement, wala na notarized, text messages nga printed, o personal notes. So, let's proceed. Proof of private document. To prove private writings as authentic and be admissible as evidence, Documents consisting of entries in public records made in the performance of a duty by public officers are prima facie evidence of the facts therein stated. All other public documents are evidence even against a third person of the fact which gave rise to their execution and of date of latter. So, it means a private document kay dili ni automatically dawaton sa court, so it must be first prove kung unsa ni katinuod before ni magamit sa as evidence. So, however, ang balaod quoted also explains something important about public document because they help prove facts in court. So, maka-help ang mga public documents o strong sa korte. So, let's proceed the next topic. When authentication of a private document is required, BART 2018, where the private document is offered in evidence as authentic, there is a need to prove its due execution and authenticity. If the document or writing is not offered as authentic, it only needs to be identified. So, a private document like letter, receipt, contract, or message written by a private person, so dili ni siya automatically accepted by the court as true or genuine. It first needs to be handled in two different ways, depending on how it is used in court. So the first one is when the document is offered as authentic or real and true. So kung gusto nimo nga tuuhan sa korte nga kaning document tinuod gyud og valid, kinahanglan nimo nga mapangatud-an og kinsa ang naghimo niini, and so that was properly signed or executed. So this means you are saying nga kini nga document is tinuod. So for example, imong represent ang usa ka written contract nga nag-ingon, ako si Juan, musaad nga mobayad ko ni Pedro og 10,000 pesos. So if Pedro wants to use this in court as proof of debt, he must show that nga si Juan ang nag-sign niini og ang contract is tinuod og dili fake. So Pedro need a witness or Juan's admission to prove it is authentic. So dapat tinuod. So let's proceed to the next topic. Authentication of the original and a photocopy of the original. Both the original and a duplicate may require authentication, though a duplicate is admissible to the same extent as an original unless authenticity is questioned. So it means both original document and its photocopy can be used in court. So ang original document daw ug ang photocopy kay pwede magamit sa korte. But sometimes they need to be authenticated. Dapat daw i-prove ug unsa ka tinuod. So ang original document pwede mahimong kinahanglan i-authenticate aron mapakita nga tinuod. While ang photocopy, generally dawaton pareha sa original, gawas kung naay mo question sa iyang pagkatinuod. Mo ni ang rule. Kung walay mo object, dawaton ang photocopy sama sa original. Kung naay mo question, kinahanglan nimo i-prove nga sakto o tinuod nga kopya ang photocopy. So, tagaan ta mo duha ka example. Ang example number 1, walay nag-question. Si Pedro nagrepresent og photocopy sa resibo nga nagpakita nga dibayad si Juan og 5,000 pesos. Kung dili mo question si Juan, the court may be accept the photocopy as evidence even without further proof. Example number 2, gi-question ang pagkatinuod. So si Pedro nagrepresent gihapon sa same nga photocopy sa resibo, pero miingon si Juan, piki na, wala ko may perma ana. Karon kinahanglan ni Pedro nga i-prove pinaagi sa pagpakita sa original nga resibo, testigo sa mga nakakita sa original o mga pruweba sa sakto nga pagkakopya. So, in a simple way, ang original may need authentication. Ang photocopy accepted like original unless walay mo question. If naay mo question, must prove it is true copy. So, dapat nimo i-prove nga kung sa katinuod. So, let's proceed to the last topic. When authentication of private documents is not required. First is, the writing is an ancient document. So, mo ni katong mga karaan nga dokumento. Second is, the writing is a public document or record. Third is, the writing is a notarial document, acknowledged, proved, or certified. So, mo ni ang mga kanang na dokumento nga acknowledge or prove ta certified na. Fourth is the genuineness and authenticity of an actionable document have not been specially denied under oath by an adverse. So mo ni ang pagkatinuod o authenticity sa usa ka actionable document nga wala gi specifically deny paubos panumpa sa pikas partido. Fifth is when such genuineness and due execution are immaterial to the issue. So mo ni ang katong pagkatinuod og husto jud sa na pagkahimo, then dili siya importante sa isyu nga kaso. 6 is the genuineness and authenticity of the document have been admitted. So mao ni ang katong pagkatinuod or unsa ni siya katinuod nga dokumento nga giangkon mo to na admitted. 7 is the document is not being offered as genuine. So mao ni ang dokumento nga wala gi-offer. So dili na kinahanglan i-authenticate ang private document kung gisaligan na sa balaod o walay na question o dili importante ang pagkatinuod sa kaso.
I will be discussing the ancient document PAR 1990. According to the PowerPoint presentation, the ancient document requires three conditions. First, it must be 30 or more than 30 years old. Next is the proper custody, where it is found in a place where it would naturally be. For example, yung heirloom, company archives, family chest. Very rare lang to magamit sa court, yung ancient documents. The last condition is unblemished. Yung mga suspicious alteration, erasures, or mga pagbabago dapat walang kulang at walang labis yung document. Ang kagandahan lang sa ancient document, when it comes to authenticity, the ancient document does not require to prove its authenticity. Kasi sa pagkatagal na ng document na nag-exist, yung advantage ng ancient document when it comes to court. So, base ito sa section 20. So, according to the third sentence in this paragraph, di mo na daw need hanapin yung mga tao na nakakita ng document, ang mga witnesses. Pero, you need to prove that it is an ancient document before mo to ma-acquire na condition. For example, a lawyer presented a deed of sale from 2010. And the trial right now is 2015 na. So, na-met niya yung mga condition. The lawyer does not need to find the original witness to testify in court. Yun yung kagandahan ng ancient document. So next is the 2019 amendments which took effect on 2020. Nagdagdag sila ng scope sa ancient document na it is explicitly applied on electronic documents. Na if ang digital file or electronic document is nag-exist daw ng 30 years or more than 30 years old, it can be potentially qualified if it is not being tampered. What is the reason beyond this rule na based lang sa mga logical reasoning, if 30 years na or more than 30 years na ang mga dumaan, more likely ang mga person na nag-sign sa document, mga nag-testify is more likely dead. Kaya this is necessary sa ancient document. Next is proving genuineness of handwriting based on section 22 rule 132. There are three ways daw kung paano i-prove yung genuineness of handwriting. First is the witness knowledge. In this paragraph, first sentence is all about the witness knowledge. For example, someone saw me writing on the document or on the paper. Or even sa familiarity, someone recognizes my handwriting. Second sentence of this paragraph, it focuses on the comparison, question, and standard writing. For example, the other party presented a question writing, then it will be compared to the standard writing. This is the other way on how to prove the genuineness of the handwriting. Next is the last way on how to prove genuineness of handwriting. It is the court inspection, yung judge mismo yung mag-compare ng document without any opinion coming from the expert witness. And the newest update on this rule is regarding in the rules in electronic evidence. If it is digital signatures or even mga scanned handwritten, this rule is still applicable. Let's proceed to the private or public documents proof of notarial. According to the section 30, any instrument daw na duly acknowledged or provided by law may be presented in court. Di mo na kailangan i-prove ang authenticity ng isang document if meron siyang notaryo. Sa new rule naman ng Proof of Notarial 2019 na if ang document daw ay registered pero di na-record sa notary book, so it will lose its public status. It becomes a mere private document. Balik lang siya sa private document if di na-record. Next is the public document as evidence. In this slide, if ang document daw ay ginawa ng public officer in the performance of the duty ay considered or tinatawag na prima facie evidence. So, ano ba yung prima facie evidence? If ang document daw at first sight is sufficient, for example, kukuha ka ng birth certificate sa PSA, then it is issued by a public officer, then it is considered as a prima facie evidence because it is done by a public officer in the performance of his or her duty. So, in the next slide is about the proof of attestation. Dito na slide, I'll make it short and summarized since it is very confusing if you read it naturally. Let's proceed to this rule. First, let's define what is official record. It is a document na ini-issue ng government or public officer. For example, ang mga birth certificates, marriage certificates, etc. Sa old rule, if gusto mo magpakita ng copy sa court, you make sure na it is certified by the office. If ever naman na sa ibang bansa, you make sure na pumunta sa Philippine Consul to authenticate it. In short, grabe yung proseso. Meanwhile, ang sa new rule naman, just get a certified true copy and if it is from abroad, just use an apostille. Kumbaga, mas pinadali na ang proseso. Next is the proof of foreign laws doctrine of processual presumption. So in this topic, if ang party ay nag-invoke ng foreign law, then they must prove it and get a copy to present it in the court. If di mo ma-prove sa court yung foreign law, di-assume ni court na same lang sa Philippine law. Dito sa na-mention, ang pasok na ang doctrine of processual presumption na if di ma-prove yung foreign law na na-invoke, the court assumes to be the same as the Philippine law.
First, let's talk about the special power of attorney executed abroad. Under Section 24 and 32 Rule of 132, a document executed in a foreign country must be authenticated before it admissible in Philippines court. So a simple foreign notarization is often insufficient without an apostille or consular certification. So meaning na is kanay ko ng SPA mura na siya permission slip which is usa na siya ka legal nga document nga gahatag og authority para makabuhat siya sa butang pasa sa laing tao. So, example lang kung busy ka sa laing lugar, pwede ka mohatag og SPA sa imong gisaligan nga tao nga siya na ang mulihok para sa imuha, which is siya na ang mo perma, mo transact, mo negotiate or mo dawat sa kwarta or masikaso sa imong kinanglanon. But if kinigimo ni siya sa abroad, dili siya automatic valid sa Pilipinas kung wala siya mosunod sa legal nga requirements. So if dili ni ma-comply, dili siya pwede gamito na sa evidence. Pananglitan na ako sa Turkey, nya gusto na ko ipasikaso ang akong yuta diri sa Pilipinas. So pwede ko maghimo og SPA dito para sa ako ang igsuon. Pero kinahanglan pa siya ipa-authenticate o apostille para dawaton diri sa Pilipinas. So example, nagtrabaho ka sa Korea, unya gusto nimo baligya imong yuta diri sa Cebu. Pinagi sa migsoon, nagpandataryo ka sa Korean nga lawyer, nya wala nimo gi-authenticate sa Philippine consulate. Dili siya dawaton sa korte sa Pilipinas. Admissible siya kay wala ang silyo sa ato ang gobyerno sa gawas. So then usually ang SPA nan siya tulo ka purpose. So first is to introduce you. Siyempre nga ikaw ang tag-iya sa yuta, kinsa man na siya para sa transaction. Siyempre pakita sa SPA nga siya da itong agent. Siya dito introduce sa imong agent. So second is to authorize you. So diagi ka ng legal nga authority nimo para mulihok in my behalf din. Di pod ka pwede nga mulagpas sa kung sabot. Example, kanira nga yuta atong nakabutang. So di ka pwede nga appeal pa na kung uban na akong yuta. So third is to document and validate. So transaction evidence. So the SPA serves as a written, notarized, and sometimes apostille proof of authority
that required by banks, register of government agencies to recognize the agent actions is authorize the agent to sign the documents like contracts or deeds on principal's behalf. So second is public record of a private document. So section 27, rule 132 state that a private document like a contract that has been recorded in a public office can be proven by the original record of a certified copy from the legal custodian. Meaning is, once a private paper is officially recorded by the government's copy becomes a reliable source to prove the document exists. So, example na is, nawala nimo imong original nga lease contract sa imong giabangan nga balay. Unya, nakahatag ka og kopya sa Registry of Deeds. Imbis mangita og sa original, pwede ka makuha og certified true copy gikan nila. So dawaton na sa korte bisan dili na original ang imong digdala. Third is proof of lack record. So the rule this allows a party to prove that the certain document does not exist. A written statement from the custodian saying that after a diligent search no record was found is admissible evidence. So meaning na gigamit siya aron pamatud-an nga ang usa ka dokumento wala gyud ka nag-exist. Wala gyud nag-exist. So kinahanglan na siya og sulat gikan sa official nga nagkupot sa mga record nga nag-ingon nga gi-search na nila apan wala gyud sila nakit-an. So example is sa kaso nga annulment aron mapamatud-an nga wala pa makasal ang usa ka tawo mokuha og sinumar gikan sa PSA. So ang mga papel may ebidensya nga wala sila i-record sa kaminyoon sa katawo. So another example na estudyante na ingon siya nga graduate siya sa ka school nga UP. So gi-check sa school sa ilang records pero wala siya list nga nakita niya graduate siya dito. So ang kaning school is maghimo na siya og certificate nga walay record niya ni graduate siya dire. So mao na ang proof of lack of record. Fourth is last will and testament. So the rule section 19, rule 132 and article 838 of Civil Code create a strict exception for wills even if notarized. A will is not considered as self-proving public document. Meaning is a will has zero legal effect until it goes through a court process called probate. So the court must verify the testator's state of mind and that the document's authenticity. So example ani is ang usang lula usa ka lula is namatay yung naigibilin nga notarized will nga nag-ingon nga ang kaning balay is mabalhin ni sa iyang upuhan. So dili ni basta-basta nga mabalhin sa imong ngalan diretso. Kinahanglan pa na mo file og petition for probate sa korte. Ang to dili maingon ang huwis nga valid kini, dili ni mo automatic makuha ang balay. So that is last wills and testament. This is explaining alteration of document. So the rule of section 31 of rule 132 state that if a document appears to have been changed, erased or written or edited after it was signed, the person presenting it must account for the change. So meaning is kung ang dokumento nga naay mga agi sa erasure o gisuwatan o giusab o naay gi-edit o man gipirmahan, ang tao nga nagdala nini sa korte kinahanglan gyud na nagbipasabot kung ano. So example ni nagpakita og promissory note. So diin nga nagantidad og 10,000. So gipaspasan og buhat gihimog 70,000. So magduda ang korte niini to make it admissible. Kinahanglan mo pamatud-an nga nangutang mismo ang nag-usab ni pinagi siyang initials o naay kasabutan niya kamo sa pag-usab kay kung dili ni dawaton sa korte.
Proof of documents in an official language. Documents written in an official language should not be admitted as evidence unless accompanied with a translation into English or Filipino. So kaning rule means that courts will not accept documents written in a language they do not officially use unless there is a proper translation. Dito sa Pilipinas, ang ma-recognize na language is English or Filipino. So ang document kuno is written in another language like Japanese or Korean, kinahanglan i-translate sa. So ang purpose mong good ani nga rule is ma-ensure nga ang judge and all parties is makasabot sa content sa document. Impeachment of judicial record. Any judicial record may be impeached by evidence of want of jurisdiction in the court or judicial officer, collusion between the parties, or fraud in the party offering the record in respect to the proceedings. So, impeach of judicial record. A judicial record, such as court decision, is usually considered strong and reliable evidence. However, it can still be challenged or impeached if there are serious issues. So, there are three main grounds of these issues. Lack of jurisdiction, the court had no authority over the case. So, collusion means between two parties secretly work together to deceive the court. So, fraud, dishonesty or deception was used in obtaining the decision. So, this rule ensures that justice is not based on invalid or dishonest rulings. Registration of contracts. Certain contracts must be in writing or in a public instrument in order to be valid. So where a contract is required by law to be registered, the same must be as a rule. So registration of contracts. Some contracts are not invalid unless they follow specific legal requirements. This may include being in writing, being in a public instrument, notarized, being registered if required by law. So, this applies especially sa mga importante nga transaction like involving a property, large amounts of money. So, ang purpose mong good is to protect the parties and provide clear proof of the agreement. Foreign judgment divorces. Under Section 2495 of Rule 132, a written document may be proven as a public or official record of a foreign country by foreign judgment, or documents like a divorce decree issued abroad can be recognized, but they must be properly proven. So, it presented through an official publication or a certified copy from the legal custodian. Kung ang document pod comes from another country, it must also be certified by a Philippine diplomatic or consular office and have an official seal. So, para ma-ensure nga ang document is authentic and trustworthy. Church registries. So, church records like baptism, marriage, or date records were once treated as a public documents. However, in the court rules, they are now considered private documents. This means they do not automatically have official evidentiary role. They must be proven like any other private documents. So, ang rason ni is that the records are not kept by government officials. Because a baptismal certificate cannot automatically prove someone's birth in court. It must first be verified or supported by other evidence. Thank you.